Order.
Hawkins.
Yes.
Burrow.
Yes.
Belleville.
Yes.
Moreno.
Yes.
Vargas.
Yes.
We have a four.
All right, approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This is the time where community members can make a public comment to the board. Please be aware the board cannot comment anything that is said, comment on anything that is said during this time. This is the only time in the agenda that is reserved for open public comment. The forum will be limited to 30 minutes. Please limit your comments to 4 minutes. All right, no one here. So move to fundraising requests.
Yeah, a couple of them are both girls soccer. One's the leading edge fundraising for cookie dough sales that they've done in the past. And then the other one, just so we're clear on that, is for Arby's receiving a percentage of sales of Arby's. Not a new thing.
All right, a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then overnight trips, none,
Nope.
and then notification of agreements.
Oh, yeah, so for the Education Association, met when was that? Last week, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
Do we-
ago.
You guys can jump in, but I thought it went pretty well.
Yeah, I thought it went really well. I thought that, it helped that Sean and, had constant communication with them, and so I felt like it helped it move along.
Yeah, there was evidence of strong collaboration, and everybody is aware of where everybody's at on things and where we can be as a district, and where the teachers need to be, as well. So makes it very easy to negotiate when everybody's kind of already on pretty even ground.
I would agree. All right, so everyone have a chance to look over it? Any questions?
Who's that middle signature? I see, I recognize you.
Is it Dan maybe?
Is it
That's Dan, yep.
I thought.
So besides the addition 200 to the generator base, each teacher is getting a bigger chunk of TSS, the teacher salary supplement. Almost $1,000 jump from last year, so that obviously will cause an increase, which is why the percentage looks a little bigger than like 200 to the base. Now it would give us that bigger percent. And then other than that, the only other thing was special education teachers. We added another 5 days to their contract.
Yeah.
As we're not going to do the stipend for the next school year. That's about it.
They have one comment. So the school board association had something about what the average was across the state so far, and they're asking for reports, and that we were very generous.
Yeah, I agree. And, honestly, we have to balance, obviously, being an employer of choice, but also, being reasonable and cognizant of our financial situation, and how quickly it can decline if we're a little bit complacent. I mean, it's crazy what 1 or 2% can do over 5 years. I mean, it's bad. So I think that everybody comes to the table with a level head and do a pretty good job.
Good job, you too.
Mhm.
Good job.
And Abby. That's we just show up and Abby uses the computer and that's how it goes.
Yeah, the quick math is not happening with Sean and I with our load.
Microsoft Word is
We
not
need,
with very.
we need the formulas. All right, so, a motion to approve. I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. And settlements with the non-WELA and then the WLPTA staff, which were included in the.
Yeah, these are the remaining staff. So you can just kind of see where all the percentages fall in line there. As a total increase of expenditures, you see the blue is the next year, current year is yellow. And then the separate group at the bottom would be your food service staff. So, I don't know if you have any questions about that. Trying to, like Jake said, trying to remain competitive, trying to give decent raises while being fiscally responsible and understanding that. Just exactly what you said, but just a little bit, you just gotta be careful. A little bit here can add up to a lot down the road, so. Any questions, I guess, overall on that?
I guess that with the bus driver, is that like for people already working, or is that including like people already employed and then what we would offer new people? Because I knew we were doing a push to try to recruit.
Bus drivers.
Yeah.
Bus drivers is the one that everybody gets paid the same rate.
They need a raw pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're
Okay,
guaranteed
got
a 3 hours per day.
Okay.
Is what they're guaranteed, and then activity, they can pick up extra stuff if they want. But yeah, no matter how long their route takes, I mean, if it takes over 3 hours, they get paid more than 3 hours, but you know.
It's a straight route.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just an hour and a half estimated in the morning, hour and a half at night. We did a big jump last year. For
I knew
that.
because we were trying to do recruitment.
Right, and yeah,
And has it worked? Or do we have solid rounds, or are we still?
We're following our routes this year. I mean, Roger did combine one route and it was probably one to, we did a couple small routes. So put those together, knock on wood, we were full all year and hopefully we'll stay that way heading in next year.
Any other questions? Want to make a motion to?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
things to
This
approve
one will
today.
happen.
So this one,
Kept feeling like I was reading it twice, and I think it was in here twice.
well, there are two different resolutions in here.
Okay, two different resolutions. but-
So this first one is so we can pay off that series 2020 bond this
Okay.
year. So we're doing 1 year early on that, so making an extra payment July 1st. So basically we have to do a resolution that authorizes us to make that payment. And this is a roll call vote. Can we do that? Get into the roll call vote. Yeah, Ogden. Right.
Yes.
Southville, yeah, Moreno.
Yes.
Burgess.
Yes.
The next resolution then is the bonds, the series 2025 bonds for the indoor facility. And that's, they'll be sold on June 2nd. 10.975 million, and then we will receive them on July 2nd, I believe. Any questions, any of that? So that's to approve us to do that, the electronic bidding procedures that they use, and then we have to, that long official statement that I think I emailed a couple weeks ago. But then that was also in the packet as well.
And Matt came back, said we had received an A+ rating from Standards and Poor's. That's the rating we received from them after a couple meetings with them, and his words were, this is great. This is better than most, a lot of the Iowa schools receive. So we're like, well, in the top tier for Iowa schools. So, yeah.
Roll call vote then on that? Ogden?
Yes.
Burrows?
Yes.
Dalbell? Yep. Moreno?
Yes.
Burgess?
Yes.
All right. The next one?
And this one is the share agreement for the college career counselor.
That would be for Sarah Schneppers' position. Brenda, if you want to talk to that, but Sarah does a lot, as a liaison between the college and this career field and works directly with the counselors, with the students. Is responsible for lining up visits and she helped line up, she was part of career day, with counselors, just does a lot for our students, helping them to really expand the horizons of thoughts and experiences, in high school as they think about what they want to do beyond high school.
Yep, we share her with Wilton and MCC, so she teaches a concurrent enrollment class in the fall. It's called Strategies for Academic Success. It's really kind of a pre-college class, but she does all kinds of things in there, helps kids fill out FAFSA, do college application, the scholarships. But also if they're not college, then looking at certificate programs or internships or the workforce and job shadowing. She does some budget work and all kinds of things just to help them kind of get ready for next steps in life. She's an extremely valuable part of the high school. We just had decision day last week. She helped organize that with the counselors and with Aligned Impact Muscatine. So yeah, it's a great position that I'm very thankful we have and would like to continue.
We do 40-40-20, so 40 with us, 40 with Wilton percent of the time, and then 20 is under the MCC umbrella, and we do receive operational sharing dollars for that position as well. So it counts as 2 operational sharing points.
So basically, we make up the difference in the 16.5 gap just through our normal funding sources.
Correct.
Do we use at-risk funding for this or just regular, just curious?
Some of it comes out of that risk.
Any other questions? Motion to.
We'll make a motion to approve.
Oh,
You got it.
and then second,
I'll make a second.
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Who motioned that?
Here.
Oh.
Here. Just pass it.
Beat him. All right, tanager. So right now, currently, we have 1 FTE, and that's Kendra at the middle school. She's came in and spoke before. What we're proposing to do is add a behavioral health intervention services worker at our elementary school. So basically, half of their time would have to be billable therapy services. And then the other half is basically up to us to utilize how needed. This is replacing, so we had a counselor that left or is leaving at the end of this year. And so this is a replacement for that instead of hiring a full-time counselor.
Who is leaving now? Did I?
Andy Butler.
Okay, that's been earlier.
Yeah, it was, she resigned early.
She resigned early. She took a job in her kids' district, a job opened, and she just moved to Solon, so she took
Okay.
a job there.
So this would be, in place of that.
Yeah, so Kirk and I have met with Tanager a couple different times and thought this sounded like a great way to, well, one, we cut costs by quite a bit, 30 to 40,000 savings. And then also we can do whatever we want for that half day, so he can use her just
Yeah,
like he would a counselor in the building or, whatever.
and also allows us to get to preschool, so counselors can help with, they were both licensed K on, so they could help with like trauma and emergencies with preschoolers, but weren't licensed to work with preschool, but we could utilize this individual to help with preschoolers too, if we have something come up that way. And it has to be a minimum of 10 billable hours or 10 students, sorry. And then from there, we can add more students if we want to, billable hours or not. We kind of go from, which is nice. It's a lot of flexibility that way.
I know in the past, when I asked that like, if students don't have insurance, then we've paid, but would that not count for this? Like if they wanted to see a student who doesn't have insurance, will we just use them out?
So we would basically use that other half of the day is what I would envision.
And then just try to find, and then just students that
Yeah.
did have,
Yeah, because I believe
They
it
have
would be
to have it on
Medicaid.
Medicaid, yeah.
It's
10
be on
cents on
Medicaid.
oh, is it just Medicaid, it can't be
For
private
this-
No, for
This
10, it
one.
has to be managed, so she has to have 10 Medicaid,
and Medicaid?
and then from there, it can, yeah.
I mean, do you think it will be hard to, will it be invasive to ask student parents for Medicaid cards or stuff like that to ask them? I
Say
mean,
that one more time, sorry.
I like getting that information from the parents, you feel like that's gonna be a problem, like chasing down Medicaid cards or getting the agreement, the Medicaid, have you ran into any problems with that?
I don't believe so. I mean, because we've had tanager in the past and I don't believe it's an issue with Kendra at the middle school. So it's not, it shouldn't be too big of an issue.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was an issue trying to get parents to find their, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, no,
use
there's,
it and like have it available and.
no, we've already, like with Carla Madrigal, who is our other counselor, we've already started having conversations of who is currently on Amy's roster and her roster that would benefit from from services with this other individual, and that she, through working with Maria Galvan, who potentially already knowing who is on Medicaid and which families would like to have those services and continue to have services like that, so. But is in addition to still having Lisa Murphy, who works through Bethany Services, this won't impact her. We still want her to be a part of that as well, so that we can still, so we can service more students that would, through those types of services.
This might be a stupid question, but what is the, how does the savings work? I see it's like full-time counselor versus BHIS. Is that like different?
That one's an
So,
that one's an Abby question.
so basically, if you would look at our counselor that's leaving, the amount of money between salary and benefits, that we were paying her, let's say 80 grand. And then this tanager, I think it's 37.5 for a full-time person, because they are able to bill half of their time. So it's cheaper for us. Kind of like Kendra, I think for her, it's 15,000 to have her, which is obviously a lot cheaper than having, someone, yeah.
But they're still trained, I mean, these are still trained counselors and.
Yes, yep,
And they'll have like a
tanagers.
master's, or do we know if that bachelor's or?
This
No.
one-
This individual have bachelor's.
Bachelor's,
Mhm.
I believe Kendra has masters.
Kendra has
Yeah, you can kind of pick and choose, and through our conversations, this is kind of what we thought made the most sense and helped us the most. And from the sound of it, they don't feel like they'll have a hard time finding someone to fill this position for us. Obviously, they wait till we're agree to it before they're gonna hire someone, but they didn't seem to have any worries.
No, especially with bachelors, it's easier to find someone with a bachelor's than a master's for
Right.
this position. Which is part of the reason I'm going with bachelors, to ensure that it would be easier to find somebody.
I was just curious too about the behavior health intervention. Is that like a certain type of I mean, I know there's like psychology or social work. I mean, is this like some type of training they've had to become a behavior health one intervention? Like, do they have different certificates for that or
I
something?
don't have a lot of knowledge with the difference between the type of training that the individual's going through that has their bachelor's compared to master's, and what it takes to go from one to the other. I just know that it has a certain type of training that goes with it, so I haven't done a lot of research into it. The biggest draw for me was looking at, I've been here 3 years and we've had 3 different services. So we had halftime, we had a full-time halftime tanager that was, with middle school and us, and then John, our counselor, then going to 1.5 with a half a tanager, which didn't work very well. And then having 2 counselors this year worked really well, but then missing that preschool part of it as well. And so now it's, all right, well, year 4, let's adjust again to continue. But the goal of adjusting is to continue to meet as many needs as possible, and knowing that we heard from preschool teachers and staff that are like, hey, it would be nice if, because we had a couple of students that would have benefited from some of that. And so we referred them to Lisa Murphy through Bethany Services, who is a BHIS worker as well. and works with the family and the student, with that, but it's not as intensive as a therapy as it would be if you have your master's. It, again, limited knowledge and understanding.
Yes, I guess I was just drawing on the behavior, where they help set behavioral plans for the students.
No, they can be a part of that in collaboration with that. That'll be a school SST or student support team where it would be Carla and whoever this individual is, John, myself, classroom teacher, potentially AEA and or special ed teacher on if there is a student that that we're having some behavior concerns with, then it's working through those channels and what different interventions are we utilizing within the classroom and outside of it. And are there things happening outside of school that are affecting more inside school? So how to best leverage the resources that we have to support the student. Maria would be a part of that too, come on. She's often a part of it.
That sounds like a good team.
Yeah, and I think it was small, not just individual, but small group and whole group as well was I understood that we can really utilize them however and do some whole and small group and then students that might not have Medicaid, but their insurance might not have worked for somewhere else, but they need some services. Hey, let's bring that student in to help with that because that could be part of that other half where she doesn't have to bill, she doesn't have to bill, but can still help support that student.
Anyone else have any questions? A motion to approve?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we'll move on to the IJ.
I just asked Meredith to put together some data, for Sean to be able to share, and then I just talked about it, so I'll let Sean share it.
So this is the data that Meredith sent over to Mrs. Arthur Miller. And so that, what are we is this our third year by Jag, third full year, I believe?
Or four.
Is it third? Maybe it's third or fourth. So we've had it for a while now. And I would say this data falls in line with other presentations that we've had from this group. And you can see the numbers, how many juniors and seniors partake, the GPA. So at the end of the last year, 2.64, now it's 2.97. So an increase in GPA, less failing grades. They do a lot of work with career prep. So 14 students were unsure about their career. Now it's down to 5. And then it gets into some of the students currently employed, job shadowing, etc. And then just a list of dates and the activities that they took part in. So
I don't know if Christina Anderson, if the work-based learning coordinator is one of the things you approved tonight too.
I think it's.
Okay. Well, Christina Anderson is the one we share with 5 other schools, and she is only here 1 day a week, but works very closely with Meredith and with the counselors to facilitate a lot of these trips. And she also works with, like, she and Elise Spicy took a group last week to Cedar Rapids. She's worked with Tana Dare, the nurse. So Christina does a lot of work to help our kids really get out there and experience different careers. So, but yeah, Meredith does a great job of having guest speakers come in and take kids on field trips and those, explore anything. She asks them what they're interested in, and she works to make it happen, whether they go there or someone comes here. So
There's a variety of lists too, about the different choices. The different things they can do. You have a question about the IJ? A motion to approve? I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then this will be the Muscatine County Extension. Which is.
Yes, this is Marita. Yeah. She's been a long time. Years.
So the scope of her work is really working with at-risk kids and new families to mostly to the high school, but she works in conjunction with Maria also if there are kids that in multiple buildings. So she's employed through Iowa State Extension, but her job is here in West Liberty at the high school. And
Is that 32 hours a week?
yep, 32 hours a week. So it's not, they're not really not set hours. She does a lot of outreach with families, especially in the evenings, when she knows they're going to be home. So, but she's also at school to help students. She worked with some students this spring on some scholarship applications. So she does that. She works with food insecurities. She works with utilities and billing. She works with, you name it. She's doing it. So.
If you've been part of the wellness committees, you've heard the reports that our resource navigators give, or Rita and Maria, and it's just, there's so much that they do behind the scenes to help our students and their families with just such a variety of things like Brenda touched upon. Just invaluable with all the different things that they do for our students that are not necessarily curriculum, but the things to take care of our students so that they can be productive in the curriculum.
The last time she talked about how with the scholarships and she set up like the days for them to all come together and work on scholarships. And it was just really cool to hear how then the students were helping each other fill out and kind of like a lot of work, but really rewarding, and a lot of scholarships were a fun thing. So it was neat to hear.
We'll find out those results next week.
Right, motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Wait a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. And then this is for the work-based learning coordinator.
Yeah. They're just gonna talk to that too, and then just on the financial side of it, so we split with three districts in the Eastern Iowa Community College, each set 20%. So we received 2 FTE, which is 15,652, and we pay 13,000. So kind of something that pays for itself. It's also a valuable piece of the high school, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for one day a week, there's a lot of fun.
Yeah, she's
Very busy.
she's one day in the building, but she's always working. So, and then they brought Erica Ewert back to
Oh, yeah.
EICC. She was an intermediary at the state level, and then those were, I don't know if they were cut or what, but then Erica Ewert is back at EICC, and so she works in conjunction with Christina also to do lots of big planning ideas. They did the sophomores, all of our sophomores went to MCC last fall. And then we took a select group of juniors back to MCC this spring to really explore the academies through Muscatine Community College, as well as then spend part of their day at doing a job shadow somewhere in Muscatine at some various businesses. So, and that was all coordinated with Christina Anderson and Erica Ewert and Sarah Schnepper and all the people that you're approving tonight.
Any further questions? No. I had a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and then superintendent.
Yeah, so quite a few commendations tonight, so I'll go through those. So for Mr. Maria, I just wanted to give a shout out to all the parent volunteers at the track meets. You know, some of you have helped that are in here at those. The older they get, the easier it gets, the younger they are. It's kind of like herding cats.
It
a
was
little
definitely
bit.
herding cats.
Definitely.
Still miss some of their reasons.
There's no Cadillac, it's not. They're learning. I need a lot of good volunteers to help them get coordinated there and show up at their particular places and lanes and marks and And
then they leave.
And then, yeah. Right. And hopefully they leave in the right lane and at the right time. So anyway, big shout out to all the volunteers to help make an efficient track meet. Also to Alex Burkhopper. So Alex has taken on the role of really setting up the timer system and all of that. And it's can be quite complex. And so he's really done a lot to work with other schools to learn how the systems operate and to make sure our system is operating effectively and efficiently. So just another big shout out to Alex for his work, just on all he's done to help with the track meets and run that track timer system. Just want to say great job to the cast and director of the West Liberty Comic Cabaret. It's a very entertaining show with a variety of performances. We appreciate all of the practice and hard work that our students put into the production, along with their director, Dorianne Reese, her leadership in preparing them for the production. They did a fantastic job. A lot of little segments, little skits and songs, and good mixture, and good humor in it. And the students, all their different lines, and adjusting from scene to scene, and pretty cool. Just everything they did for that production, make it a success. So just kudos to them and Dorian. Also, it is Teacher Appreciation Week. So a huge thank you to our teaching staff for all they do for our students, their passion, dedication, and continually going above and beyond to help each child grow and develop. It is just invaluable for the young lives of the students of our West Liberty Community School District. We just appreciate all that our teachers do for our kids. And then last but not least, May is Board Appreciation Month. So thank you, board. Being a board member is a huge commitment, as you know. You have 2 evening meetings a month, many packets and materials to read over, and numerous other tasks associated with the position. So I just want to thank you for your time and overall commitment to the students, the staff, and the community of the West Liberty Community School District. We greatly appreciate all you do. So please, when you leave, take a hanging basket that's provided to us by our FFA students. Thanks for all you do. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for this too. This is really.
And
Kelsey Lynch helped with that is.
thank you, Kelsey Lynch.
Kelsey
And
Lynch.
students.
I can't find any of my kids.
It's like, it's like, where's Waldo?
Yeah.
Maybe like Dan's signature too.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe they were gone.
I think there are some of them buried back as well.
Okay, I'll
So try to
check
make it its way back as well. So
You might have to go and ask them.
Yeah.
Find her.
What is happening?
Thanks, John. And then consent agenda.
Yeah, so a couple resignations and then as of this moment.
Don't stay on. Nope,
we're
nope,
full
don't
of
stay.
staff. There's always some that come trickling in, but I mean, that's a good point
Yeah.
to be at right now, so.
Very.
Yeah, kudos to you guys on getting those done. So.
Yeah. Last week was a lot of interviews.
But you came away with all these recommendations, so I think pretty good. And that's that Lorenzo Bejarano, that's a Spain teacher. That's, yeah, so. Otherwise, I think it is.
Okay, only, I think, yeah, the only one.
You will be our only one in the room.
Alba.
Well, shame.
Well, as of right now,
As of right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
so.
she's married now. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Any other questions about that?
So did we hire a new high school special ed then? Is that? You said we're
One
supposed
that
to.
we're not filling,
Oh,
correct,
okay,
after
okay.
looking at, everyone's rosters.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay,
coming up and stuff, they decided that we're not gonna refill that, so.
okay, I was just checking.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, so, motion to approve,
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
and a second,
I'll second.
all in favor? Aye. All right, so next board meeting is May 19th at 6, the agenda, hopefully, you know, okay, Fred's left, Abby said that, hopefully we don't have.
You don't blame it on me.
And then we'll do the meal prices, the tuition and registration charges, so a motion to adjourn,
I'll make a motion.
and a second.